Thank you so much for stopping by today. So, although we've only been a few weeks into what is officially the summer, we've been having hot weather for quite a while now. And as I've mentioned before, we actually had a very mild winter. And so, yeah, it's been hot really probably since like March for us, but it's officially summer. We've been a few weeks in. And so today what I want to share with you is some different type of plants that we're growing in the garden, just in case you're trying to figure out what are some plants that you can grow in the heat of the summer. I want to share that with you today. So let's go ahead and let's get started. So I am going to be totally honest with you. I am looking for a way to kind of shade this garden because, like, for example, this week the temperatures have been 96, 97. And so not only has it been hot, but we are very humid here. So while it may say 96, it may feel like 106 or something like that. And I may be exaggerating just a little bit, but it's so hot out here. And it's just like, I try to go out in the morning and think I'm going to get some work done. It's hot when I first walk out, and we're talking about 6:30, 7 o'clock. And so it makes no sense for me to say, well, I'll just wait until the evening. Well, it's hot then as well. So we do have some plants that are suffering. For example, the tomatoes, when the temperatures start getting over 90 degrees, they really don't produce and do what they're supposed to. And that's where a shade cloth would definitely be beneficial. Now, they still are growing, and what I try to do is keep this straw on here to kind of hold in the moisture and also combat the weeds. But I also try to make sure that they are consistently watered. And a lot of times I have to get out here and hand water myself. But those are just some things to think about. And like I said again, I'll make sure I keep you all posted. I definitely want to find some ways to kind of shade this area for some of the plants that don't do as well in the sun. So let me show you the first plant that I found out about last year, and it is like a champ in the garden. So make sure you follow me on Instagram. And so the first flower I want to talk about is the Butterfly Pea Flower. Make sure you stay until the end because I'm going to show you why I love this flower so much. And if you're in a hot enough zone, we're in zone 8B, but if you're in a hot enough zone, make sure you try to get some seeds just to see how this plant grows. But let me get a little bit closer. So basically it is a very true to color blue plant. And let me tell y'all a quick little story. So when I first started sowing these inside, and they did not germinate, and I talked about these seeds very bad, I'm not gonna lie. So I went back and did some research online, and then what I did was try to soak them in water overnight, kind of like a bean or a pea, because that's what they are, butterfly pea. But I tried to soak them, and then I planted some more, and still, I think I might have had maybe 2 that came up. So I was like, okay, fine. But let me tell you, I had forgot all about these, kind of like put them outside, like whatever. I don't know, I got these seeds offline and they're no good. But all of a sudden one day, y'all, they just start popping up. And as a matter of fact, I got 3 more that I have to plant. And it's some that I just planted that are taking off like crazy. But they're really pretty. And like I said, I want you to stay to the end because I'm going to show you what they do. And you can really like entertain your family and your friends with this little trick right here. But they have a lot of medicinal benefits. So make sure you look that up so that you can see the benefits that these plants have. But you really do need to be in a hot climate in order to grow them. So the very first plant that really takes this heat, and ever since it's been hot, I want to pan up. Look how it's trellising this cattle panel. Like, it is crazy. So look into these. Such a beautiful flower. So while we're over here by the butterfly pea flower, this echinacea right here is not only taking the heat like a champ, is growing taller than what the package said. And then not only that, this is, when I tell you it's a pollinator attractor, oh my gosh, like I literally am at the point now where I have to ask the pollinators, could I please come over here and pick my butterfly pea flowers, because it is just, they're all around and they will start swarming me. And I'm trying to get a little bit closer to see maybe if you can see some of the beneficial pollinators that are pollinating this plant. And what I love about having this Echinacea here is, although it's hot, I also have my sun gold tomato here. And so the pollinators can go ahead and pollinate my tomatoes, so it's just like a win-win. And like I said, we do have the tomato plants that are, you know, holding on, but whenever it gets past 90, they don't perform as well. As a matter of fact, fall or going into fall is a better time for us to grow tomatoes. So during this time, I just try to keep them alive, because I know that they'll start flourishing once this hot weather kind of subsides. So I do want to tell you that the sun was not out when I first got out here, and like I told you before, I bring the sunshine, y'all. But zinnias are another plant that loves sun, loves this hot weather. Like, and this is a new variety that I'm trying this year. They're more of a compact zinnia, and the more you cut, the more they come. I'll zoom in right here. I have been cutting and they have been coming. This is like the variety mix, so you get all colors, but I'm so pleased with this mix. And as a matter of fact, since it's still hot, I'm going to do another planting of the fuller size zinnias that get a little bit taller and just net them. But zinnia is one that can take this sun and this heat like none other. So marigolds are another plant that takes the heat like a champ and thrives in it. And so marigolds are so easy to save the seeds and just keep replanting. As a matter of fact, I learned about marigold from my friend Brandy. We were stationed overseas together, and she was just saying how much she loved them. She grew them, and she also showed me how to pick the seeds. So easy. And so I don't even buy marigold anymore. What I do is just, I did put some in a seed tray this year. And these are just different varieties that I had, and it's just so easy. You just pop, once they're dry, you just pop this off, and insides are the seeds, and you can just keep replanting them and just throwing them down, and they'll just pop up, no problem. I know you all remember when we planted these. This is our sweet potatoes that we planted in containers. Now we do have something eating it again, but let me tell you, they love the heat as well. They are thriving. The only thing with the bags is, although the sprinkler system comes on to them, I still have to come and make sure that they are moist inside and watered very, very well, to make sure they're saturated really good. So I had to wait just a few minutes because obviously the birds are doing some talking. I don't know what their plans are today, but they were very loud, and they've moved on, but you can hear them in the background. But don't get me wrong, there are a lot of plants that can withstand this heat, but these are some of the ones that I know are tried and true, and that's gonna take the heat here like a champ. This last one goes to basil. Basil is a heat-loving plant. As a matter of fact, I just did a big harvest of basil the other day, and I'll make sure that I flash a picture up there because they were so good. The kitchen smells so good. And as a matter of fact, I made what I call basil flavor bombs. I froze them. Comment below if you're interested in knowing how to make them. They are perfect when you're making sauces, when you're making soups, when you are sauteing vegetables, but it's a great way to preserve your basil. And when you take it out of the freezer, it's just like you picked it fresh that day. But basil is one that takes this heat and takes it like a champ, and it's just so good, and it smells so delightful. Okay, so comment below and let me know what plants that you are currently growing that is taking the heat like champions. These are just a few. We have a few more around the garden that are thriving well, but we do have some that will kind of shrivel during the heat of the sun or the heat of the day, and then they'll kind of bounce back. But one key thing that I want you to do is when this sun is hot like this, and I'm talking to myself as well, is to make sure you mulch, which is going to kind of conserve the moisture, and also to help with weed control, and also make sure that you water consistently. As a matter of fact, and I hope to bring y'all along, and I hope this is going to work, but I actually have been buying parts to do drip in this section of the garden right here, because I've been coming out here about 8 o'clock at night, and like I said, it's still hot with the water hose, and it's becoming such a tedious and long process that sometimes I'll just leave the hose, like I'll just put it over here, leave the hose, and come back in maybe like 2 minutes, then move it down and come back in some more, come back in maybe 2 more minutes. But it is a long process. The only thing, and I'm not going to get into it because I know this video is supposed to be about heat loving plants, the only thing I'm trying to figure out now is I want to trench is it the polytubing or whatever? I want to trench that and then bring it over and up so that when my husband cuts the grass, he doesn't run over it and eventually damage it. So that's what I'm working on now, is trying to trench it from the hose down to here and then bring it over here. But I know I can do it. I am tired of trying to research and get somebody out here, and then when I tell them what I want, they don't do what I want, and then or they don't understand what I want. Only I understand what I want, and I may be a little bit sometimes I can be a little bit difficult and aggressive, but you just know what you want sometimes, and you want it done right. But I'm taking my time and researching it very well, because I am the type of person that when I do it once, I want to touch it once and I don't want to touch it anymore. I don't want to keep going back and forth. You do it right the first time. This is what I tell my kids: you do it right the first time, you don't have to worry about it anymore. Okay, so I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes, so I can show you guys about this flower. But and so I'm just using a few so that you can see, but you can use a little bit more than this. I'm not going to put a bunch of water in here to show you the trick, but so basically what you want is some butterfly pea flowers, and it's a butterfly pea flower tea. So you want some flowers. You may need to use more than this. I'm only going to put about 8 ounces of water in here. This is my tea pitcher that I got, and I'll make sure I link the video below about lemon balm tea as well, because we enjoy that so much. But so anyway, you first want boiling water before you put the butterfly pea flowers in here. So we're boiling our water, and then I'll show you exactly what happens as it steeps. But then you have to stay tuned for the magic part, which I think is so cool. So the butterfly pea tea has been steeping for about 10 minutes, and you've already saw the process of the water turning blue. So what I'm going to do is put it in the clear glass so that you can see, and then I want to show you what it does. I don't know, it doesn't take a lot to I guess make me like wow. So that's one thing I love about this tea thing. You just sit it down and just let the tea come out. Now, I wouldn't necessarily put it on the rim of anybody else's glass, but I'm the one that's drinking this, and I know that I've washed it. So what the butterfly pea flower does is it turns your water blue. And so a lot of restaurants with like exotic cuisines, they'll use this technique. If you've ever went to a restaurant and just say, for instance, the rice was blue, they also use it to as a dye for certain things. So it starts out blue, and remember, go online and look up some of the medicinal benefits of it. But this is what happens, and I'm going to put the camera down so that you can see it right before your eyes. This is what happens when you add citrus. Okay, so it goes from blue to purple, or like a magenta color. But that was one reason why I really wanted to grow things. Like each year I'll try to find something new to grow in the garden. So this year, this was my new plant to grow, and I am definitely going to grow this as long as I am here in this hot climate, because it is just such a conversation starter. Now, I was looking online, and so when they make the tea, they mix different ingredients, maybe like cinnamon and a little bit of honey or agave, because what I will tell you is it does have a very woody taste to me. Like you could smell it. It just tastes, I mean, it smells kind of like woody, tastes like woody. So I would definitely suggest that maybe you add some type of sweetener, or like cinnamon. That will be good. But there are all type of recipes that you can use in order to make this a little more appealing than just the steep butterfly pea tea and just water, because it is a different taste. But so anyway, that is what the butterfly pea flower does, and it is great to grow in hot climates. So as always, thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you share this video with your family and your friends. And if you're not a subscriber, we would absolutely love to have you as a subscriber. So make sure you tap the bell so that you can receive notification each and every time we upload a new video. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and until the next video, bye-bye.